Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for MSME entrepreneurs. We bring you the right information to empower you. Tonight on the show, two small giants in focus. First up, we have Instarem, and on the other side of a short break is Farmsnfarmers. Outward remittances is a very esoteric world which is very opaque, and aiming to break down just that is our small giant in focus. First up tonight, Instarem is aiming to make money transfers across borders seamless. Shumangi Sinha brings you more on this company.
Banking in today's tech-fueled infrastructure is quick and efficient. But what really happens when one needs to transfer money overseas?
I supported my sister's education for her master's degree, and now she's going to do PhD. My brother-in-law is going to do master's in medical science. I need to support him. He's going to be a doctor.
Sending money abroad can be complicated and expensive.
There has to be a better way, surely.
To the uninitiated, the gravity of high FX margin rates might seem innocuous, right until the residual amount reaches desired receivers. Targeting this crucial need is Singapore-based Instarem. Founded in 2014, the company is able to boast of an early mover's advantage in this space. Ramakrishna, I want to start this conversation with you about Instarem on two things. One, the name, it's extremely interesting. So is it instant remittance? Is that what you're looking at with Instarem? And tell me, what really was your inspiration behind starting this company?
Yeah, so the beauty of it is, if a person from Australia wants to send money to India, we do it in 12 seconds. So the money is received in Australia, and through IMPS, which is 24-hour by 7, we remit to the beneficiary. So even before the remitter goes off the website, he gets a message from the beneficiary, I received the money. So that's the real-time instant remittance across borders.
So now, when I'm talking to you about the entire market of outward remittances, there are two things that I want to address here. One, at this point in time, do you think that consumers in India are sufficiently aware about a platform like yours? Do they understand what the advantages really are of using a platform like Instarem? Secondly, about how you think that this awareness can be built. So in India specifically at this point in time.
Okay, cost of acquisition is a challenge everywhere. Fortunately, we have been present in multiple geographies. As a result, lot of inward remittances coming to India. So it's the biggest receiver of remittances from migrant population, and we are playing a big role by charging less than 1%. And what we notice is Indian consumers are cost conscious. So if a bank typically charges 3 to 4% and other players about 5 to 6, we are playing sub 1%. So we are charging 0.6, 0.75%. So that attracts a customer to us. Second, we have a big word of mouth we call as a referral program. So once they experience our platform, they are referring multiple of their friends to come in and take with us. And third, we are doing all marketing activity yet to start, but doing most of them through Google Ads, Facebook, social media. So because most of our Indian customers are now playing with the mobile. So the bank is in their hand right now, in their palm. So that's where we are doing all the digital marketing and getting the customers.
So I think taking your point forward about how most of the consumers now are operating via their mobile, via apps. Now, one thing when a customer is logged on to an app is how easy it is for him to use it. So the minute the interface of an app becomes inconvenient to a user, they are likely to get off it. So how do you think you have been able to maintain a user interface which is easy to use? Because, you know, this is about money. Everybody is a little iffy when they're trying to transfer money through a digital app, which is perhaps not linked to their bank directly. So how do you think you've made the interface in such a way that it's easy to use?
Yeah, so the first step we made is onboarding. There's no documentation required. So it takes less than half a minute to onboard a customer. So that gives him a big comfort of doing. Second, we have simple steps, register, get approval, set a transaction, and he gets the status immediately onto his mobile app, the notification. And at regular intervals, he'll keep getting message where the payment has gone. Just like you track a particular delivery of a courier, here we track the delivery of the payment and inform it to him through a push app notification on the app, or through an email, or even an SMS. So that really gives the comfort to the customers. So his money is safe, given and received. So there is no risk perceived by the customer. As a result, customers are pretty happy. And our UI has been designed in same size as Facebook with a React technology. So the look and feel of it looks pretty good.
So when you're talking about comfort and the perception of lower risk, I'm going to just contend that and say that I want to understand from you, how are you really being able to ensure that the data that a consumer is providing to you while registering with your platform is actually secured? How do you really think you're being able to match the regulations across the globe? It's obviously difficult, I'm understanding, because every country will have a different kind of a regulation. So how is it that you're being able to do that and ensure that the customer's data is secure at all times?
Okay, the first element is for a customer to access our account, we needed two-factor authentication. So one is the user ID password, and second is the OTP which goes onto his mobile. So that's the between the customer and our platform. Once it comes to our platform, the data is transmitted with encrypted and through APIs. So the data just gets transmitted with a public key and a secret key. Unless that key is known, nobody is able to log in. And with our partner banks all over the world, we have whitelisted our IPs. As a result, no other person can get hold of our network. So these are the securities we have taken from a technical perspective.
Now, I think one thing that Instarem has been able to master is funding. You've already gotten funded twice and you're looking for a third round. So tell me about this funding journey. I think $18 million at this point in time is what Instarem can boast about in terms of getting funding. So how did you really do this? Because a lot of MSMEs and entrepreneurs think that funding is a huge challenge. So what is it that you've done?
Okay, the credit for that goes to our co-founders, Prajit Nanu and the CEO, and Michael Birmingham, who is based in New York. The seed funding has been through them, and they were fortunate to get the funding from Temasek, which is the Ministry of Finance in Singapore. And they gave us a Series A at $5 million. And as we met all the milestones, when an investor puts in money, we were able to show the results in terms of meeting the milestone. They were very upbeat in giving us Series B, which was for $13 million, which we got last June. And then that gave us the jump to expand globally and prepare the platform to scale up. And now we are looking at Series C, which is again about 18 to 20 million. So the investors have certain milestones which they look for. And as long as you are meeting them with having the basics proper, right? You go in promising to deliver certain things to the investor. And if you are able to deliver it in the right way, they are more than comfortable to put in.
Right. So I think another thing that I want to ask you at this point in time is about your competitors. I understand Western Union is trying to get into the business of outward remittances as we speak. What has that really been like for you? There's TransferWise as well. How do you really think you're being able to differentiate yourself from your competitors, and what perhaps are your top USPs?
Yeah, actually we see competition as good for us, because if more players are there, we are in a better position to meet the customer's requirement of convenience faster, and one keeps the other to be ahead of the other, right? Competition that way is good, and we can approach the regulator as a group to mention that as fintechs, these are the benefits we require, and these are the things which are already available with the banks. So can you give us a level playing field? So there the competitors come in handy. And what we found out is Western Union, TransferWise, they have an early start than us and they are big. However, we are coming with the latest technology, and we have a USP in terms of starting a journey with Asian exotic currencies and then moving into Europe and US. So that has been our biggest USP. Big flows happen into Asia. So that way we are very confident that more the competition, it pushes us to be ahead, and we are happy that as a team we can collaborate and get our approvals.
So talking to you about scaling then, what are your expansion plans really looking like? I understand that you're in multiple countries already at this point in time, but what are your expansion plans looking like going forward for the next 5 years perhaps?
We would like to expand into Indonesia and Japan this year and consolidate on these licenses with our retail business, and we have a big chunk of business to business flow wherein banks are using our platform, which is a mass pay platform, and using us to remit to about 55 plus countries. So that is where we want to scale up.
Providing transparent and efficient means to transfer money across countries, Instarem has successfully disrupted the outward remittances space.
When I transfer money to family overseas, I use Instarem.
Now I can send and save to Hong Kong,
Singapore,
The UK.
India,
Vietnam,
North America,
Europe,
Indonesia,
the Philippines,
Australia,
and many other countries.
And is delivering quite literally most bang for your buck.
Time for a break. Farms and Farmers is disrupting the way farmers are connecting with the end consumer. More on that when we come back. To stay tuned. Welcome back with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Small Giants, Farms and Farmers is in focus. Agriculture remains the major source of livelihood for most of India's population, and ensuring that there's a transparent model where middlemen are done away with and farmers are getting a more equitable money when it comes to their produce is Patna-based Farms and Farmers. Mansi Chokse was in Patna to understand how this model works and to bring you an on-the-ground report. Take a look.
आज 40 साल से हम किसान का काम करते हैं, मेरा 60 साल का उम्र है, लेकिन लगातार हम लोग बीज और बाजार दोनों से ठगाते गए। न बीज वाला ठगता था, बाजार वाला ठगता था।
With 88% of its population living in rural areas, agriculture is the primary source of income and employment in Bihar. Lack of awareness and access to new methods of farming are posing serious challenge to the farmers in this state. Farms and Farmers, an organization founded in 2010, has taken it upon themselves to bridge this very gap.
So it was somewhere around 2009-2010 when I was working with a management consulting firm after I graduated from IIT Delhi in 2008. And while working there, mostly we used to work with supply chain companies, retail chains or FMCG players. So that was a time when I got enough exposure. I learnt about the supply chain related issues and challenges for these bulk buyers or institutional buyers, which was one end of food chain. Prior to that, I originally belonged to a farming community in Bihar. That gave me brief exposure of the problems or difficulties being faced by farmers on day-to-day basis. So as an individual, somehow I could not understand the gap in the entire agriculture value chain. So it was 2010 when I just got the idea. It was just a simple thought that why can't we create a working model, why can't we create a scalable and sustainable business model in agriculture around farmers.
Farms and Farmers has eliminated the middlemen through its Dehat model. Dehat runs nodal offices in tehsils and collaborates with micro-entrepreneurs to open small centers in villages.
2017 में हम देहात से जुड़े। इससे पहले हम मार्केट से काम करते थे और देहात से जुड़ने के बाद हमको इसमें डेवलपिंग बुझाया, जो कि हर व्यवस्था इससे मिल रहा है, जैसे दवा का, फर्टिलाइज़र का हो या दवा का हो, और किसान का जो भी प्रॉब्लम होता है इसके माध्यम से सॉल्व होता है।
We are farmers-centric organization. We have spent 6 years, in agriculture sector. As an organization, we have, gained rich grassroots experience, and in past 6 years we have learnt about the exact challenges and pain points being faced by these farmers during various stages of cultivation, whether it's about crop or variety selection or soil test, or it's about buying quality agricultural input like seed and fertilizer, access to advisory, relevant information related to market or weather, many more, credit, insurance, mechanization, and last but not the least, and probably the most important, is about selling their farm produce at better rate to better market. So we created a unique technology and model called Dehat, which is about providing them complete end-to-end services, right from which crop to grow, how to grow, to where to sell, right from seed to market. So for farmers, it's a kind of one-stop shop, one-stop destination for their entire agricultural need, and it's also pretty accessible as well as affordable for them, right? So each Dehat unit caters to a radius of 3 to 4 kilometers, right? So one side, through Dehat, we are providing all these agricultural services to farmers. On the other end, we work very closely with the agricultural stakeholders, right? So to any institutional buyer or to any agri input companies, right, we are providing direct access to farmer, either whether to buy the farm produce or to sell the right set of agricultural input, right? As a business model, we make revenues when we sell agricultural input to farmer at right time, price and quality. Then throughout the season, we provide them highly customized advisory services. For advisory, we don't charge anything from farmer, but at the end of season, when we buy the farm produce, that's our another revenue stream, right? So when we buy different type of crops like corn, wheat, seasonal vegetables, fresh fruit like lychee, so when we buy from our farmers and when we sell to institution, so that's our another revenue stream.
Food grain production in Bihar hit a record high in 2016. With about 60% of its geographical area under cultivation, Bihar has an immense agro potential. However, the monetary benefits of a good yield rarely trickle down to small farmers.
All 35,000 farmers who are associated with Dehat, irrespective of their location, they have access to more than 65 institutional buyers and different market, right? So basically, that is something basically which gives more option of buyer and market to sell. Okay. Last but not the least, I mean, it's a price discovery. Because of the digital intervention, there is a better price discovery, right? So there are, it's a huge market, right? Any organization cannot buy everything being grown by farmer, but because of price discovery, overall, efficiency of the entire ecosystem basically, goes up. So those are the consequences of digital intervention if it's about selling the farm produce to.
Farmsnfarmers has introduced a digital platform to impart information to farmers in their regional language. With growing internet penetration, digitization in agriculture is slowly gaining traction.
So then in 2015, we developed a mobile-based platform for these micro entrepreneurs, and it's a kind of plug-in technology for them, right? So irrespective of their agricultural background or not, from very first day, by using this platform, they're in a position to provide all these agricultural services to 600-700 farmers in radius of 3 to 4 kilometers. So basically, so then what I want to say, that technology, we started thinking around technology after 2014 and 15, and last year when we developed a very robust backend and platform which has complete integration around different technology interfaces. So farmers have, those farmers who have access to smartphone, they have one kind of application. They can let us know about the query. Farmers are associated or mapped with Dehat franchise or Dehat micro entrepreneurs. There is another application for these service providers, and then at backend we have complete integrated system which gives us 100% visibility up to farmer level. Digitization in agriculture, especially around small landholders, is extremely important, and the way how we see that in agriculture, different phases of agriculture are interlinked, right? So crop or variety selection has to be done on the basis of soil test or the land type probably, right? Then accordingly you need right set of inputs. Accordingly you need right set of advice, right? And of course, and that's how basically you move ahead in the value chain. So digitization is basically one aspect which basically brings efficiency in the entire value chain for the different stakeholders, and that's how basically our that's our perspective, right? Even you can take example of our own work. So because of digitization, in fact our entire work at Dehat is highly data driven, right? So as I said earlier that that one unit Dehat caters to roughly 600 to 800 farmers. Our one regional node, which is our inventory point, caters to roughly 35 to 40 Dehat center. So because of digitization, because of technology, like we are in a position to forecast the overall input requirement for next 10 to 12 days in a highly efficient way.
Knowledge of market trends, demand and supply, all of this could help farmers to dodge price fluctuations. Dehat centers are introducing analysis and planning to highly unorganized agriculture sector.
Farmers profile based on their input transaction date, they receive crop reminder calls on a weekly basis, right? That's related to digitization, that's related to technology. Because of digitization, because of technology, during the season itself, we get close to 70-75% visibility of the crop farmers are growing in that region, right? And that's the time basically we initiate our conversation with the buyers that this much quantity or this type kind of quality we are expecting in this region, and harvesting date will be so on, right? That's only possible because of the digitization. Even when we were developing Dehat platform for farmers or for micro entrepreneurs, we realized the same, we face same issues, same challenges. And it's not about the language. We found that it should be very quick, right? It should be very efficient. I mean, it's not easy for any person from rural background to read, right, and to see. So then our entire application basically it's pretty pictorial.
Agriculture constitutes as a source of income for 58% of India's population. Models like Dehat not only provide end-to-end linkage between the farmers and agro companies, but are also organizing the highly fragmented agriculture sector of India.
Out of time on the show tonight. If you want to be featured here on the show, or if you know of any such innovative business models, here's how you let us know. leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com is our email ID. On social media, get in touch with us on Sunanda_J, that's my official Twitter handle, or LOT_ET now. You can also tweet us at Times Influence, or get in touch with us on Facebook, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.